I want to start by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ma'okah, Kadosh. Double orders unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do well. Shalom to the whole elect. Supplier Allah. The title of the video will be Peace with Thee. We're in these last days of being in Babylon, well, an extension of Babylon the Great, the mother of the whore. Basically, the world is given into the hand of the wicked. We're basically in an evil time. We're basically the people that have dominion over this place are the heralds of evil. And they being the heralds of evil, basically present experiences in his life, especially for Jake, due to the curses, Jake being a so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native American. Basically, you have to be very mindful of how you move. And that goes into the curses regardless anyway, because it says basically, loosely paraphrasing that, when you wake up in the morning, you'll be like, I hope I can make it to the night. And when you go to sleep at night, you hope that you wake up in the morning. That's a kind of life that, us Israelites are living upon this earth. And now, when you come into this word, it's like honey in your mouth and it's bitter in your belly. But the pleasant things, the things of the honey in the mouth, basically is the wisdom, all right? And if you endure, like it tells you in the book of Sirach, the 6th chapter, basically, and not let this knowledge become a burdensome stone, but let it become the change become a glory upon thee. Basically, what you have is a gift of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, a gift of faith, all right? And in having that, you have the tools basically able to utilize to get through all the wiles of the devil. The brother mentioned it before about when you go into the medieval period, when you had warfare, there were different forms of weaponry that was utilized. You'd have people that have armor, wear armory, all right? The chainmail, the straight up iron armor, and that'll be great for against the lance, the long swords, and all this type of stuff. But you have people bring things like hatchets and hatchets, axes, hammers, bludgeon people, because obviously with a sword you can't get through an armor. But if you just use your hammer, right, it might be a technique where you bring out the sword, he feels comfortable, and then you backhand him with the hammer, and that bludgeons the guy whereby he can get the mastery. Now basically that's the same thing with this word. With this word, the Heavenly Father presents the tools, but then through experience you learn how to utilize these tools to basically disarm people. That's why the Lord said, be harmless, as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Now in that harmlessness, you have to utilize wisdom to get the mastery in every situation. And another guy match, I remember there's a video, a clip of Elder Bishop Ainat, where he spoke of the movie Braveheart. We had William Wallace, it was a fictional, loose basing on the real William Wallace. But in that movie, he had his uncle come along and say like, he said to his uncle, teach me how to use a sword. And he said, before I teach you how to use a sword, I'm going to teach you how to use this. Mainly, he needed to learn, be a learned man, or be a learned man, right? And basically learn the things of how to use his mind. So when he uses a sword, he uses it correctly. And it's the same thing with the Heavenly Father, what he's doing for us, all right? King Solomon, the prayer that he gave in his dream, whereby he asked for, where it was presented to him, like all these different things, riches, women, all that type of stuff. And what did he ask for? He asked for wisdom. He said, give me wisdom. He said, because you asked for wisdom, I'm going to give you all these things along with it. Because why? Wisdom is basically the father of all those good things that come with it. Of all those good things that just come with it. If you're wise, you know how to utilize situations, you know how to get the better of everything. Now, with all that being said, it's the same with us, right? We need to utilize wisdom, and in the utilization of wisdom, we're basically going to be, this is going to be the fruit of it. So I want to start with this. Proverbs 16 and 7. When a man's ways please the Lord Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now how do you please the Heavenly Father Yahweh? Basically by keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Basically entering through the straight gate, through the one man that can basically grant us salvation in his name, which is Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son. We have to come up the right way. Right? Whereby we come up the right way, will be pleasing to the Heavenly Father. Alright? So I'll read that again. When a man's ways please the Lord Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So if you please the Heavenly Father, it didn't say you're not going to have enemies. It says you're going to have enemies. But guess what? They're going to be at peace with you. Alright? A lot of people you see when they read the Bible, they get things misconstrued. Right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to experience something. You're definitely going to feel the fire, alright? And that's part of what? That's part of the furnace of affliction. But feeling that fire is going to perfect you, and it's going to give you the ability, the Lord's going to basically hold you through those experiences, alright? That's why it says, I'll read it again. It says, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with you. So you're going to have enemies. But guess what? They ain't going to come against you. They're going to be at peace with you. Alright? And even if they do come against you, the Heavenly Father, hey, there may be a period where they come against you, but it may be that through that experience of them coming against you, they're going to realize that it's not wise for them to do so. Right? So let me read this example going into, our forefather Paul, great man in the Lord. His experiences, he basically went through in the book of Corinthians, how he experienced many great things in the faith. Now in that experience, basically allowed him to establish that he had greatest works of great in the Heavenly Father. Right? So this is the book of Acts 27 and 21. And after long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs, you should have hearkened unto me and not have loosed from Crete, and to have gained this harm and loss. This is when Paul was being extradited from the land Jerusalem over into the land of Rome to be presented before, Pharaoh, before the Caesar. I forgot what Caesar was present at that time. I want to say Augustus, but I don't think it may have been a different Caesar, I'm not too sure. But basically, through the course of his travels, he basically was telling them, look, don't go here, do this, do that. But they were looking at him like, who's this guy, man, trying to tell us what to do? You're here in chains, man. I'm a centurion. Do you know who I am? I'm a 9-shield general. That's what they were saying. Yeah? But Paul, who was being dealt with directly by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, was basically saying like, look, this is what it is. They didn't want to hear it. Alright? Verse 22. Now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship. Right? Only the ship's going to suffer a loss. For there stood by me this night the angel of the Most High, whose I am, and whom I serve. Right? Saying, fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar, and lo, the Most High have given thee all them that sail with thee. Yeah. They thought they were sailing, they thought, to quote a great man known as Rorschach in the movie Watchmen, you think I'm in prison with you, you're in prison with me. They thought they were sailing with, they thought Paul was sailing with them, but nah, you were sailing with Paul. Paul understood everything that was going on and basically had it where, yo, you're going to be hard-headed, you ain't going to listen to me. But it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before you get these doors with the penny drops, then basically you're riding this ship with me. I'm steering the rudder. I've got control of the ship. Alright? So it says, verse 25, wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe the Most High, that it shall be even as it was told me. So that even shows you, even though the Most High appeared before him, there was still what? Faith. Alright? Because if you go to the book of Hebrews, the 6th chapter, it tells you the words of the Most High being brought before them didn't profit them not being mixed with faith, right? Because faith is a gift from the Heavenly Father, and you having that faith allows you to follow after adhere to what the Heavenly Father is saying and be in his favor. So Paul, all the things I brought before, remember we're talking about a ship. It was a big ship because it had about 200 or so people upon it. And you know, he experienced the tumultuous sea, the tempestuous. Let me just say tumultuous seas, alright? He experienced all kinds of hell at that sea through the midst of the night, alright? And guess what? He held on to faith. He said, no, the Most High said it, so this is gonna happen. Okay? Read on. So it says, howbeit we must be cast upon a certain island, but when the 14th night was come, as you were driven up and down in Adria, about midnight the shipmen deemed that they drew near to some country, and sounded and found it 20 fathoms. And when they had gone a little further, they sounded again and found it 15 fathoms. Then fearing lest we should be fallen upon rocks, they cast 4 anchors out of the stern and wished for the day. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, when they had let down the boat into the sea, under the colour as though they would have cast anchors out of the foreship, Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, except these abide in the ship, ye cannot be saved. Alright, so this shows you how much Paul, that's funny, how much Paul had within that ship. Alright, because what? He said, look, if you get off this ship, you ain't coming back. That's the last moment of your life, basically. But he said, you got to be in the midst with me in order for your survival. Alright? Showing you how much Paul had control of their lives. And remember, these men are taking him from Jerusalem over to Rome to only be killed by the hand of Caesar. So these are his enemies, and he has total control of their livelihood. And the Heavenly Father is using them for him to be brought before Caesar. Okay? So verse 33. And while the day was coming on, Paul besought them all to take meat, saying, this day the 14th is the 14th day that ye have tarried and continued fasting, having taken nothing. Wherefore I pray you to have some meat, for this is for your health. For there shall not an hair fall from your head of any of you. And when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to the Most High in presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. Then were they all of good cheer, and they also took some meat. And we were in all in the ship 216 souls. So it was 276 people upon that ship. And when they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship and cast out the wheat into the sea. And when it was day, they knew not the land, but they discovered a certain creek with a shore, into which they were minded, if it were possible, to thrust in the ship. And when they had taken up the anchors, they committed themselves onto the sea and loosed the rudder band and hoisted up the mainsail to the wind and made toward the shore. Alright? And falling into a place where 2 seas met, they ran the ship aground, and the forefront stuck fast, should I say, and remained unmovable, and the hinder part was broken with the violence of the waves. And the soldiers counseled as to kill the prisoners, lest any of them should swim out and escape. So this man just saved their life.
1 minute.
1 minute. Alright. Well,
we have to stop.
Yeah. I'll
continue on.
Wait, stop and start again, or stop in general?
Stop, and then I have to delete the video now to start again.
Okay. Just stop there.
Do it now.